The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on of the mayors and supervisors in the towns and villages we cover. This week we're going to be starting with John Moffat and the town of Mendon. John, what's going on in Mendon?
Chris, happy spring. We're getting some decent weather here for a change, and I think everybody's been out enjoying it, so that's great. A few things today. Grievance Day is coming up on May 24th, so if you live in the town of Mendon and you would like to grieve your assessment, stop in at the town of Mendon offices. You can sign up to have your assessment grieved. I would point out to everyone that it's up to you to prove that the assessor has assessed you for the wrong amount. It's not up for the assessor to prove to you that he's assessed you for the correct amount. The grievance board will meet that day of the 24th. So stop in. We've got literature that you can get to prepare yourself to go before the grievance board. We opened up the bids. This is our second go around for the spray park on Thursday, May 12th. The bids look pretty good and pretty much what we expected. Now we have all the portions of the project covered via bid. So the town board will be meeting on the 31st of May, a special meeting to receive the information from the town engineer as to a recommendation for awarding the bid. Fish, Friends in Service Here. They have been in contact with different municipalities in our community, so to speak, lately, and they've had some financial issues due to COVID. They are an organization that provides transportation for doctor's appointments, treatments for folks who just don't have transportation and don't have a family member who can take them if they're having those kinds of problems. So pre-pandemic, 2018, they made 373 trips for 9,596 total miles driven. And in 2019, they had 336 trips for a total of 9,890 miles driven. So they have individuals who are dispatchers. If you call Lifespan and request transportation and you meet the criteria, they will pair you up with a driver and the driver will take you. So the town of Mendon, the board decided at our last town board meeting that we wanted to make sure they had funding because quite frankly, they were having some very serious funding issues and may have not been able to continue. So we did supply them with a stipend to keep them solvent in 2022. Also, summer recreation is gearing up and registration's going on. They are in need of a nurse. They can't operate without a nurse. That is a requirement by the Monroe County Health Department. And they need a nurse. They also have counselor openings. So if you know someone who would like a summer job, who is a qualified nurse, or someone who would like to perform duties as a counselor, please contact Honeoye Falls-Lima Central School, and they will provide you the necessary information. There's probably a application online, I would imagine. So and along those lines, we have a great working relationship with all our municipalities, both the town and village of Lima, the town of West Bloomfield, the village of Honeoye Falls, and of course the town of Mendon. We all provide funding for that summer recreation program. It's a good program. It's the cost of the program, quite frankly, has gone up over the last few years due to all kinds of increased costs, everything from minimum wage right across the board. So I still think it's a good deal. And senior citizens got together last week on the 10th of May, and our Honeoye Falls Mendon senior citizens, and they are reorganizing. They have some new officers. Michael O'Connell has stepped up to be the president, and it looks very positive going forward. We're hoping to provide some great activities. This group has been idle during COVID, and they're getting geared up for the rest of 22 and even into 23 for some activities. So I encourage all seniors who would like to participate to feel free to go to a meeting, contact either the Village of Honeoye Falls or the town of Mendon. We'd be glad to supply you with any information as well. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, John. I'm going to pull this down. Maggie Ridge couldn't be with us today, but she sent me something to read. The Village of Scottsville had its annual Arbor Day celebration on Saturday, April 30th. 4 trees were planted on Beckwith in front of T.J. Connor Elementary School with the help of over 20 Girl Scouts and Cub Scouts. The trees were donated by our Great Neighbors Cooper Vision. Free tree saplings, prizes, and great weather made it a fun event. We also collected 11 skids of electronics to be recycled and are now qualified to earn our Tree City USA designation. Saturday, May 7th was I Love My Parks Day and was celebrated with a big cleanup on Canawagas Park. Thanks to everyone who helped clean up this area. It's a beautiful little area, and we are lucky to have people who care about it and for it. And speaking of that park, the Greater Wheatland Chamber of Commerce was awarded $11,353 in grant money from Parks and Trails New York. $50,000 was set aside to fund the Genesee Greenway Trail Towns Initiative, which consists of 10 town communities that have access to the trails that follow the Genesee River Valley. Canawagas Park is in the northern gateway to the Genesee Greenway State Parks, and the funds will be used for wayfinding signs, parking signs, historical interpretive signs, a bike rack, a bike repair station. There's a huge shout out to the team that put this together. That's the report from Scottsville Mayor Maggie Ridge. And now we have Mike. Mike, how's Lima going?
Well, Lima is hurtling along towards spring here, and summer soon to follow, Chris. So a word about the generations and how they deal with technology. If you are a person who routinely pays your bills via the electronic format at the last minute, if you are used to doing everything via your phone, if you are somebody who does get some mail at your house, but you put it aside and read it once a month, then you are just like the folks who have just opened their assessments and realized that indeed they do have to respond to those things. Here in New York State, we do have official legal things that we have to do as far as posting of important things has to be done in a print newspaper. And the assessment notices and other formal notices that are sent out have to be sent out via the US mail. If you are not in the habit of reading the Sentinel, where the town of Lima posts all of its stuff, or if you don't read the mail that comes to your home, there is nothing that we can do to change the situation you've placed yourself in. You have to comply with those things if you want to know what's going on. Someday New York State may change all of it and send it all via email to your cell phone, but that is not today, and it is not going to be anytime soon. So if you have not opened that official looking letter yet from the assessor, I would encourage you to do so, because your assessment has gone up, I guarantee it. This past week, the Livingston County Board of Supervisors narrowly voted to reduce the sales tax on gasoline from June 1st through December 1st of this year. The gas will be taxed up to a limit of $3. Anything over that, the Livingston County tax portion will be set aside. The Seniorama that the Livingston County Office of the Aging sponsors annually was held on May 7th, and Tom Reynolds is was awarded the Senior Citizen of the Year for Lima. You'll be able to see Tom in several parades this summer, waving from a convertible. If you see Tom on the street, he is always out walking. Please congratulate him. The German Festival is coming. I just recut the radio ads on WYSL. And so you will see that festival on Sunday, June 12th from 11 to 7 out on Pond Road. It has been a couple of years since we did it, but the German Festival is going to be here and it will be something to see. The Memorial Day Parade here in Lima will be kicking off at 9:30 over at the elementary school, coming down 15A and around the corner, ending at the town hall where we will have the Memorial Day ceremonies. Right on Memorial Day. The Mural Festival. Repointing is being done on the south side of the Ellis Block where Johnny B's is today. The priming of the wall should be on the 26th of this month, and then the artist will be arriving in Lima on June 12th and starting to paint the wall with a brush. It will take several weeks to do, but please feel free to stop by. Remember on that 26th also that since they are spraying, maybe don't park near there as you don't want your car to be coated that blue color. It's snowmobile season again for the Livingston County Board of Supervisors. I know that sounds crazy, but in order for you to actually operate your snowmobile on official trails within Livingston County, the two official snowmobile organizations have to start this process very early in the year, especially if they're changing or adding trail pieces so that in the winter those can be enjoyed. Every snowmobile has to be registered in New York State, and a part of that registration through a very complicated process ends up being filtered back to these organizations to maintain the trails. But we have to do seeker, we have to do public hearings, we have to sign contracts, we have to do all of these things. We just voted on a bunch of them at the Board of Supervisors this past week. And over the next 2 months, we will be finishing all of that so that the funding can flow from New York to the snowmobile groups. We have had to make a change again here in Lima, and I have appointed Karen Zisler, who grew up here in Lima, as the new town historian. Karen operates the Right Works sewing business here on Main Street. And if you see her out or you're by the Right Works, stop in and congratulate her. That's all I've got, Chris.
All right. Thanks, Mike. I don't know, John, I know you're on. If you have anything, you can pop in. Otherwise, that's all for this week, folks. Thanks for watching us. We remember we're on every Sunday at 1 o'clock on our Facebook page. You can like that and get information or get prompted when the show airs. And on our YouTube channel, subscribe to that. Same thing. As soon as the show airs, you'll get a message on your phone saying, hey, watch the Mayors and Supervisors. Tell us all about everything. Mike, John, thanks for being here. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.